A huge moo to the herd, and welcome to episode 17 of our Gregicality Skyblock playthrough. So at the end of our last episode, I was very excited because we were able to get the MV superconducting cables, and as you can see, I've run them all along here. We've got everything connected up to the bottom here, and the more important thing is you'll notice there's a big gap here. My industrial furnace, blast furnace, whatever it was called. Let me just find out what it was called. Industrial primitive blast furnace is gone because I can now use the electric blast furnace for everything, because I have replaced the two energy input hatches with an energy input hatch 4 amps, which is connected directly to our diesel generators along here, and because I'm using the 4 amp one, it is now HV equivalent rather than MV equivalent. So to make steel, it's just raw iron plus some oxygen, and it takes 5 seconds. So yeah, it takes significantly less time to do things. So that's been already a great thing. I've got the large bronze boiler still running and providing steam over here. At some point I am going to rationalize everything, get everything over to the MV diesel generators and so on, but between episodes I was doing something else, which is for today's episode, and hopefully my aluminium plates should have finished. So one of the things I wanted to do a few episodes ago was to make polyethylene, but due to various different things that were causing us problems, we had to divert off. So we had to make the MV superconducting cables, we had to make the what's that stuff called, polycaprolactam foils to wrap cables in, etc. So we paused that, but I think for going forward, for maybe 1 or 2 episodes, I want to see if we can get a process in place for polyethylene. So the core thing, if we look at polyethylene, where are we? Polyethylene, right. So polyethylene is a mixture of ethylene and oxygen. We know how to make oxygen. We're making oxygen all over the place. So we need to make ethylene, or ethylene. Ethylene is easily made with propane or steam crack light fuel. Now we can steam crack stuff if I was to make a, I think it's called a cracking unit. Yeah, cracker unit. But that's all HV stuff. So we're not really there at the moment. So butane's out, naphtha's out. So all these steam cracked ones are out. Hydro cracked, again, if it's cracked, then it's going to need the cracker, and we don't have that. We could do it from wood gas, or we could make it from ethanol and sulfuric acid. Now, sulfuric acid is relatively easy to make because it is hydrogen sulfide and water. Now, sitting over here as a byproduct of our oil production is a huge tank of hydrogen sulfide. We have an endless supply of water, so that bit's taken care of. So the next thing we need is ethanol. Now, ethanol we can distill wood vinegar, fermented biomass, or fermentation base. So wood vinegar, a bucket of wood vinegar would give us 10 millibuckets of ethanol, which isn't great. Fermented biomass, a bucket would give us 150 millibuckets. It's better. Fermentation base, 1 bucket would give us half a bucket of ethanol. Now, to me, that's a much better ratio. So if we go into the fermentation base, we're going to need something called a chemical plant. And that's what I've been making all the bits for in between episodes. And may I just say, boy, does it take a long time. It's these things here, the integral framework 2s. which requires something called tembaga. And tembaga is, it's not that complicated. You just blast furnace tembaga dust. And tembaga dust is just gold dust and bronze. Bronze we can easily make. Gold dust, that takes a lot longer because we haven't got the chemical process in place to make up the proper gold dust. So I was using the precious ingots. I got a stack in a bit of those. I ran it through my ore processing. I then ran it through the centrifuge and then took all of that precious stuff, put it into my smeltery to get precious ingots, and then smelted those precious ingots to get gold nuggets, and then merged all the nuggets into gold ingots to get gold dust. So if we're going to require any more gold, then I need to get the process in place, the chemical processing for gold extraction. But we got all of that, and we got our tembaga, and we just put that into a blast furnace, which takes 192 seconds at MV. So if you consider that takes, what, 95 seconds at HV, give or take? It took a very long time, considering I needed, according to my list, something like 160 tembaga. So that's taken a long time to do that. But we've got our integral frameworks. We've got steel metal casings. Again, steel is really easy to make now with our blast furnace upgraded. Reinforced glass. Now, reinforced glass is actually quite easy to make. It is just glass dust and advanced alloy plates, or glass and advanced alloy plates. I went with the glass dust because I know I can make glass from sand. Well, I can make clear glass from sand, and then I have to smelt it again. So I thought I'd just make the glass dust. It's just as quick. So we got the reinforced glass. So the last thing I need to make is 4 steel ingots that's already in the assembly machine, is the chemical plant itself. So over in my MV assembly machine, I put 4 steel ingots. I'm going to need my aluminium plates. I'm going to need one of these. I'm going to need, what did I say I need? I think it's the steel gears. Cobalt brass dust and 2 steel metal cases. So there's my cobalt brass dust and 2 of these. Now that apparently doesn't require the cobalt brass dust. Oh, sorry, I must have put the full stack in, that's fine. Alright, so that's going to take a little bit of time to make. Now, what I've done over here is, you'll notice that my Integral Framework 2s are LV. That's because the MV tier ones were slightly out of my reach at the moment. We look at Integral. The MV tier ones, which are the 3s, require Eglin steel. Which, if you look at this, is again blast furnace of Eglin steel dust. It's a mixture of Eglin steel base with sulfur, carbon, and silicon. An Eglin steel base is Invar dust, iron dust, and Canthal dust. And Canthal dust is iron dust, aluminium dust, and chrome dust. There's a lot of steps involved there. So I thought, just because I'm not sure how long this is going to last for or what I'm going to use it for, and plus I only need it at LV at the moment, so we're just going to leave it at the LV tier. The other thing I've done is I've been electrolyzing clay dust to get sodium, lithium, aluminium, and silicon, because silicon's one of the things we needed for the integral frameworks. Again, clay is really easy to make now. You just take a forge hammer on cobblestone, turn that into gravel, turn the gravel into sand, the sand into dust, and then come over here, fill up your chemical bath with water, put the dust in there, get clay, and then macerate it. So that's that bit done. Brilliant. So how is my little thing going? We are 88%. Yeah, so what I've done over here is we've got a medium voltage transformer. Now this medium voltage transformer, if I could type, it's just the standard one. So that's LV machine hull with some tin cables, and this is going to transfer our energy from MV down to LV. Because I'm using an LV chemical plant, but I'm taking the power from MV, this will just give, you know, drop it down for us. So that is that done. Right, there is our chemical plant. And the only things I need to do is I need some hatches. I've unfortunately been very messy when it comes to putting stuff away. So I've got stuff all over the place. So that's one of the things I will need to sort out between episodes. Hatches, none in there. Right, so I've got an output bus. I'll need one of those. Low voltage battery buffers I don't need. Probably going to need some. Where are we? I know because I just saw them. Go away. LV machine holes. So what do I need? If I look at the quest book, now I'm not sure the quest is quite correct for the chemical plant, because it says we only need a chemical plant, 48 reinforced glass. I've got 42, so we might need some more. Steel metal casings, I've got 40 of those. And any input bus and output hatch, etc. But if I look at this, if we look at the plan for it, you'll see that there's an integral framework on all three of the middle layers. So I've made up 3 integral frameworks. Now it's possible I don't need them at all, but the diagram says I do, so I'm not sure about this one. We will see, and if it works, great. If not, then yeah. What you gonna do? So I need LV power. So LV energy input, which is that one. So I need some tin cable. I know I've got tin cable because I've been throwing the stuff around everywhere. Copper cable, 4x tin cable. Right, that way. Tin cable, really easy to make. I do have some. And so why can't I make? There you go. So that's my energy input hatch. I've got an output bus, and we'll make all the other stuff in a second. So the first thing I want to drop down is my energy input hatch on top of the transformer. Right, and that's got 512 EU. All is good in the world. Now let's have a look at this. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. My wrench. Pick it up. So, according to this, we have the chemical plant in the middle, and then our hatches and input buses and everything else. And there's so many input hatches, and steel metal casings. I don't know which way this is going to go. So, chemical plant in the middle, and then everything else. I'm guessing the power. Is the power right in the middle, I guess? Check. No, all steel metal casings. Yeah, in input hatches, input bus, and energy input hatch. So anything around the sides, and then this around here. So if I pop you, this is a 5x5. So 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, so we'll pop you here. Right, and I want an output bus here. Hopefully I've got some chests. I can make my... Right, I do have wood. Just do it this way, it'll be quicker. So input bus, right. Pop that here. Don't need my steel tanks. So I've got an output bus and input bus. Let's have a look at the recipe for fermentation base. Fermentation base requires fluid in, and item in, and it gives us a fluid out. So we're going to need an output hatch, an input hatch, and will that be us? Output hatch, input hatch. Yeah, I think that should be us. So have I got any glass? I do. So LV hatch, input hatch 1, output hatch 1. What we'll do is we'll pop, if that's my output bus and that's my input bus, what have I got in my hand? Output hatch can go here, and the input hatch can go here. That's 5. That's that. So the rest should be steel. Probably where I find I haven't got enough steel casings. Not the end of the world, because I can just make some more. Right, so that's our first tier done. So if I go to my chemical plant, click on that. We'll add the recipe there so it's nice and easy. No. So nice and easy to get back to. So that's a bottom tier. Tier 2 is reinforced glass. Ooh, copper nickel coil blocks. I think I've got some of those. If not, I will go and make some up. And integral frameworks. So reinforced glass all around the outside. And this is the whole reason I wanted to play Gregicality, was these multi-blocks, which all look pretty nice, and hopefully will do a good job. Right. Cupro. I've got some of the stuff. I need to make up some more copper nickel. Right, so I will be right back after I've made up the copper nickel. And then when we come back, we can look at finishing off our chemical plant. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. I've made up our copper nickel coil blocks. Just going to get some dirt so I can stand. And we're going to repeat this, if I remember correctly. One, 2, 3 times, and then we just top it off. Okay, so if I've got this, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jump up, put that in. Ooh, I had not counted on that. Ooh, that's. I didn't think about the roof. I mean, it will fit. Just. Right, so let's just pop some dirt up here. And I want the steel. So that's 1, 2, 3, and we'll put our steel blocks. Big old building this. And then we're going to need to go. If we can do this from down here. 2, 3. 1 there, 1 there. That'll be that. 5 there. Why not to jump off into the abyss? 1, 2, 3. And 1 there and 1 there. We are going to need some more steel blocks. It's not an issue. What we'll do is we'll get everything else filled in. Yeah, actually, let's make up the steel blocks first, and then when I come back, we'll get the last bit done, and we can look at how we're going to use this. Okay, so I've got some more steel metal casings. That's the 4 there, or 3 there even. 4. Right, so it should just be reinforced glass all the way around the outside. I'm going to have to rethink the height of my ceilings though. I just hope this works. At least I got that bit right. This hasn't formed. Why is that? Invalid structure. Invalid structure. So, why is it an invalid structure? I've got 3 tiers of reinforced glass. I have, that's all solid. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. And that should all be solid. So the only thing I can think of is the hatches. Do I need multiple hatches or can it just be anything? We've got an energy input hatch in place. We've got output hatch, input bus, input hatch. Should all be okay unless I've missed something. Alright, let me have a poke around and see what is what. It could be that I've just missed a block somewhere, or the shape is missing something, but we'll come back once we've found out what's wrong. Okay, so I went off to my test world and lots of different iterations. I couldn't get it to work. In the end, it turns out I need to have multiple output hatches, so 2 output hatches and 4 input hatches. Not sure why, but that seems to work. It formed based on that. I was under the impression that you could have whatever combinations you like, but yeah, we've got it working. So it's powered. So current max tiers voltage 32 EU. Heating core blocks are 1x. So yeah, we've finally got our chemical plant working. And if I just zoom out, it is quite an impressive structure, I have to say. Now, we want fermentation base. So for fermentation base, we are going to grab some apples. And I'm going to zip these through my fluid extractor. I created a MV fluid extractor because we need that. And that's going to get me the fruit juice. So if we use the fruit juice plus trees, saplings, we should get some fermentation base. And we can use that fermentation base to make ethanol. So obviously I'm doing this manually at the moment. In the next episode, what we'll focus on is automating this process using XNet, much in the same way as we did with the oil. Just waiting on this. We're getting a fair amount. How much do I need for this? Fruit juice is 2¼ buckets. That's fine. It's not too bad. Now you'll notice that it's going to take 5 minutes. Actually, that's for less fruit juice, even better. That's going to give us 1500. It's going to take 5 minutes to get our fermentation base. And once we've got that fermentation base, we just run it through a distillery to get ethanol. So let me just grab a tank here. I'll pop this into one of our input hatches, of which we have many. And our input bus, we will stick our oak saplings. And this should now slowly tick along. 5 minutes later, it should give us our fermentation base. So yeah, we'll need to automate this. And we could, once we look at getting the coils upgraded from the cupronickel ones to the next tier, we'll find that hopefully things will go a lot quicker, and we should get more stuff out of it. So my plan in the next episode is we'll probably grab another bonsai pot, grab the bonsais, and we'll set up a method of extracting from those bonsais the apples and saplings. I want to use a sieve to get the leaves turned into more saplings and more apples, so we can try and improve that loop. And then we'll feed that into here, which will then produce very slowly our fermentation base. And then we'll take that fermentation base and we'll run it through a distiller. And that distillery will make us some ethanol. And we'll then use that ethanol in a chemical reactor with some sulfuric acid. And don't forget, we'll take our hydrogen sulfide and water, make sulfuric acid. And that will give us the what will that give us? Ethylene. And then we'll mix the ethylene in a chemical reactor with oxygen, I think, because I think we'll get more. And that'll give us our polyethylene. So in the next episode, we'll aim to get our polyethylene production chain all done. And then once we've started getting a nice steady flow of polyethylene, we can start using that for our cable wrappings, but we can also start using it in a whole host of other things. So for instance, we can start making transistors and SMDs and all sorts of things, and make our lives significantly easier. We can make the machine holes a lot cheaper, so that will be a lot of weight off our minds. Battery holes, etc. So there's a whole host of stuff. Diodes, SMD diodes. There's a whole host of stuff that will make our lives so much easier once we have the polyethylene. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you're as excited as I am as we're finally getting into the Gregicality part of this mod pack. So if you did like this episode, feel free to give it a like. If you'd like to see more episodes, then please feel free to subscribe. Until then, I wish you a very pleasant day. Goodbye.